Days of Our Lives. Kidnapping crisis grips Salem. Dear Days of Our Lives fans, the episode airing on June 17, 2025, thrust Salem into a chilling nightmare that had our hearts racing and our nerves on edge. The vibrant Horton Town Square, usually a place of laughter and celebration, became the backdrop for a sinister plot as Holly Jonas and Ariana Horton found themselves in the crosshairs of a dangerous loan shark. With Doug Williams III and Tate Black caught in a web of fear and desperation, this episode delivered a gripping tale of courage, rivalry, and the fierce determination to protect loved ones. The episode opened with a deceptively cheerful scene in Horton Town Square, where the class of 2025 was buzzing with pre-graduation excitement. Holly and Ari, two of Salem's brightest young stars, were laughing and chatting, unaware that a shadowy figure was watching their every move. That figure, later revealed as Andy Martinez, a menacing operative for a ruthless loan shark, had been tailing the girls for days, his camera capturing their every smile in a series of chilling photographs. These images, far from innocent snapshots, were a stark warning of the danger closing in. Doug Williams III, a young man already entangled in the loan shark's deadly grip, received an envelope that turned his blood to ice. Inside were the photos of Holly and Ari, their faces radiant but oblivious to the threat. Accompanying the images was a note, written in a cold, taunting scrawl, "It'd be a shame if anything happened to those pretty faces." The words were a dagger to Doug's heart, confirming his worst fears. His unpaid debts had put the girls he cared about in grave peril. For viewers who've watched Doug's struggles with his dangerous choices, this moment was a gut-wrenching escalation, a reminder that in Salem, no one escapes the consequences of their actions. Doug's desperate plea haunted by the threat, Doug sought out Leo Stark, a friend with access to cash and a knack for navigating Salem's underbelly. In a tense meeting at the Spectator's offices, Doug's voice trembled as he handed Leo the photos. "I need another loan, Leo," he begged, his eyes wild with panic. "These people, they're targeting Holly and Ari because of me. I can't let anything happen to them." Leo, usually quick with a quip, was visibly shaken by the images and the note. He agreed to help but warned Doug that the $1,000 he was asking for might not satisfy the loan shark's demands. "These guys don't play games, Doug," Leo said grimly. "You need to come up with more, fast." The exchange was fraught with urgency, as Doug's desperation clashed with the reality of his situation. The loan shark's operation was notorious for its ruthlessness, and the paltry sum Doug could scrape together felt like a drop in the bucket. For those of us who faced financial strain or the fear of failing loved ones, Doug's plight was a stark reflection of the panic that comes when the stakes are life and death. The scene set the stage for a looming catastrophe, leaving us to wonder if Doug could outmaneuver the predators circling his friends. A kidnapping plot unfolds as the episode progressed, the danger escalated into a full-blown crisis. Days of Our Lives spoilers hinted that the photos were just the beginning, a prelude to a terrifying kidnapping plot. The loan shark's operatives, led by the cold-blooded Andy Martinez, weren't content to wait for Doug's payment. They saw Holly and Ari, with their ties to Salem's wealthy families, as leverage for a massive ransom. The thought of these vibrant young women, Holly, the bright salutatorian with dreams of college, and Ari, the spirited cousin Tate adored, falling into the hands of such ruthless criminals was almost too much to bear. The episode masterfully built suspense, cutting between Doug's frantic efforts to raise money and glimpses of Holly and Ari going about their day, unaware of the danger. A chilling moment came when Andy was shown lurking in the shadows of the square, his phone buzzing with instructions from the loan shark, "Grab them tonight." The plan was set, and the clock was ticking. For long-time viewers, the threat of kidnapping evoked memories of past Salem crises, where loved ones were snatched away, leaving families in anguish. This time, the stakes felt personal, as Holly and Ari's youth and vulnerability amplified the terror. Doug and Tate. An unlikely alliance. Doug's fear for Holly and Ari was compounded by his knowledge that the loan shark couldn't be trusted. Even if their families, the DeMaras, Hortons, and Jonas clans, pooled their considerable resources to pay a ransom, there was no guarantee the girls would be returned unharmed. The loan shark's history of double-crossing debtors made it clear that Holly and Ari's lives hung by a thread. Driven by guilt and determination, Doug resolved to take matters into his own hands, but he knew he couldn't do it alone. Enter Tate Black, a young man whose own heart was tangled in the drama. Tate's feelings for Holly ran deep, their on-again, off-again romance a cornerstone of Salem's teenage scene. Ari, his cousin, was like a sister to him, her infectious laughter a constant in his life. But Tate's relationship with Doug was anything but warm. Doug's shady dealings and romantic interest in both Holly and Ari had long been a source of tension, and Tate's distrust of him was palpable. When Doug approached Tate with the horrifying news, showing him the photos and the threatening note, Tate's first reaction was fury. "This is your fault, Doug," he shouted, his voice cracking with anger. "You brought this on them." The confrontation was electric, with Tate's protective instincts clashing with Doug's desperate remorse. For viewers who've navigated family feuds or uneasy alliances, this scene was a powerful depiction of two young men forced to confront their differences in the face of a common enemy. Doug's plea for help was raw and unguarded. "I know you hate me, Tate, but we have to save them. I can't do this without you." Tate's jaw tightened, his mind racing with the weight of the decision. Holly's smile, Ari's laugh, the thought of losing them was unbearable. In a moment of reluctant resolve, Tate nodded. "Fine. But this doesn't mean I trust you," he said, his eyes burning with determination. A rescue mission takes shape. The episode's climax set the stage for a heart-pounding rescue mission, as Doug and Tate forged an uneasy partnership to save Holly and Ari. Days of Our Lives spoilers teased that the kidnapping plot would unfold swiftly, with the girls snatched during a seemingly innocent outing in the square. Doug, haunted by the loan shark's threat, vowed to track down Andy Martinez and his crew, using his knowledge of Salem's darker corners to uncover their hideout. Tate, with his quick thinking and fierce loyalty, insisted on a plan that prioritized the girls' safety over risky heroics. "We get them out, no matter what," Tate said, his voice steady despite the fear in his eyes. The alliance between Doug and Tate was a dramatic highlight, rich with potential for both conflict and growth. Doug's guilt over his role in the crisis weighed heavily, while Tate's love for Holly and Ari fueled his courage. Their shared mission promised moments of high tension, sneaking through dark alleys, dodging the loan shark's enforcers, and confronting Andy in a showdown that could turn deadly. For viewers who've cheered for Salem's heroes in past rescues, this storyline echoed classics like Bo and Hope's daring escapades, but with a fresh, youthful energy that kept us glued to the screen. The emotional stakes. The episode wasn't just about suspense, it was a deep exploration of the bonds that define Salem. Doug's attraction to both Holly and Ari added a layer of complexity to his motives, as his desire to protect them was tinged with personal longing. Tate's love for Holly, still burning despite their complicated history, gave his actions a raw intensity, while his protective bond with Ari underscored the importance of family. The threat to these young women struck at the heart of Salem's community, rallying characters like Leo, who grappled with his own role in enabling Doug's debts, and setting the stage for the involvement of powerful families like the DeMoras and Hortons. For viewers, this episode was a powerful reflection of the fears we've faced for our own loved ones, moments when danger loomed, and we had to summon courage to protect those we care about. The uneasy alliance between Doug and Tate mirrored real-life situations where rivalries are set aside for a greater good, reminding us of the strength found in unity. The looming kidnapping plot, with its promise of ransom demands and double crosses, tapped into our deepest anxieties, making every moment feel urgent and personal. Looking ahead as the episode closed, Salem was poised on the brink of chaos. Would Doug and Tate's rescue mission succeed, or would the loan shark's cruelty prevail? Could Holly and Ari's families rally to save them, or would the kidnappers' demands tear them apart? And what would become of Doug and Tate's fragile partnership? Would it forge a new bond, or crumble under the weight of their differences? Days of Our Lives spoilers promised updates on the kidnapping plot, with Doug keeping Tate in the loop as the crisis unfolded, ensuring more heart-stopping drama in the episodes to come. What did you think of this thrilling episode? Were you shocked by the loan shark's threat to Holly and Ari? Did Tate and Doug's uneasy alliance surprise you? And how are you holding up with the suspense? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how this episode gripped your heart. As Days of Our Lives continues to weave its spell, Salem remains a place where danger, love, and heroism collide, keeping us captivated week after week.